country, and just in different cities, it almost feels like you're in different countries. First, we were in Saint Louis, and that was one vibe. Dakar was a different vibe. Touba was definitely a very different vibe, and now here in Ziguinchor, I feel like I'm definitely in another country, if not another region of the world. There's that stark divide, that dividing line somewhere between Sahelian Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa, and we've crossed that line. It's humid here. I'm just like sweating and, moist just after getting off the boat and walking around for like 5 minutes. But I guess this might be the start of a new chapter in my travels in Sub-Saharan Africa as well. Just arrived in Ziguinchor, and I'm checking out Hassan's home and his neighborhood, and we're just right now walking around to the market. But yeah, it feels very different. It's very quiet here. No pollution, no traffic, not all of the usual city stuff that you find in Dakar. Entering the marketplace, and as you can see, there's really fresh produce, there's music, motorcycles. You see these really hot peppers, the Scotch bonnet peppers everywhere. So definitely a different vibe from Mauritania. People are very excited to be on tape here. It's a very nice atmosphere, and the weather isn't that bad. It's pretty... Il fait bon.
Oh, il fait
ce
bon.
Matin.
Il fait bon.
Ouais.
En tout cas, le climat est bon. Hein?
Ouais.
Et salut de passage à tout le monde. C'est Hassan.
Oui, Ziguinchor. Hassan is telling me that this part of Senegal, Casamance, is especially just known for people who are happy living in harmony together. There are Christians here, Muslims here, everything. And people just seem to all know one another, to the point that if you just were to go up to a vendor and ask for some produce, they would be happy to give it to you under the trust that they know you and you'll come back eventually. But yeah, I do feel it. Going from the Sahelian parts of Africa to Sub-Saharan Africa, it's a bit of a change. It seems like wherever we go, we just run into more of Hassan's relatives. And I don't really know where the line ends between relatives and friends and family friends and all of that, but it's very interesting so far. So right now we're going to check out a room that's available to rent that I can stay for the 2 nights I'm here in Ziguinchor. So it's an air-conditioned room for about $15,000 per night. It's not bad, about $25 per day. Get up these stairs. We're now entering the covered market of the central market here in Ziguinchor. This actual construction was made in the 21st century, but it's here to mark the location of this market, which has always been here as long as the city has been here. Et c'est le plus grand marché à Casamance?
C'est l'un des plus grands marchés ici.
And so it's one of the biggest markets in this region of Senegal, which is one of the biggest regions in Senegal, stretching from the Gambian border down to the border of Guinea-Bissau. So I'm meeting one of Hassan's teachers and friends here in this workshop where they're stitching, tailoring clothes and selling traditional dresses as well. And he teaches both French and Arabic, so we were just chatting a little bit in Arabic. And when I was outside, I saw a little chalkboard with French verb conjugations, which he teaches to students here. So it's really interesting to meet the different aspects of his family and family friends here. It really makes me think about how some people can just go to a certain place and they feel like they belong there. All their memories are there from growing up. Their family, their friends live there. They walk out on the streets and they recognize the places. They recognize all the people. And in the U.S., we move around so much, or we're just so disconnected from the people around us, that a lot of us don't have that. I know for sure I don't. I can't just go back to where I grew up in Louisiana and feel like, oh yeah, this is home, or go back home to Michigan and feel like everyone recognizes me. You don't have that sense of community. And that sense of community is something which is really highly valued here. You always hear about people like that, people who have roots somewhere. But it's really interesting to see how it actually manifests itself in real life when you're walking down the street with Hassan. Says hi to pretty much everyone, points out every little alleyway, and there's a memory attached to it. that's just really special, and a lot of us don't have that.
Vous pouvez filmer tout ça.
Oui.
Sinon, yaa ngi ci jàmm. Naka tey nag. Ça va. Elle aussi c'est ma tante Awa.
Waaleykum salaam.
Ma tante Awa Badji.
Na nga def. Ana waa kër gi.
moom la français lay la quoi.
Ah, kon dégg nga.
Français wala arabe wala anglais.
Kasume.
Voilà Kasume voilà li ma ko jàngaloon Kasume képp.
Kasume
Te si ndeyu.
Voilà kooku ba. Di kooku ba.
Kokoba.
Voilà.
Kokoba.
Kala sax bu.
Nickel.
Voilà.
Safa.
Nickel
Nandigan.
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 Sant
Ah,
bi
oui,
moo xaw a
oui.
compliqué
Man
quoi.
Awa Badji.
Mais Nandigan.
Awa.
Elle c'est Awa Badji.
Awa Badji. Awa Badji.
Elle vous demande juste votre nom et nom de prénom et nom de famille.
Ah oui.
Voilà, c'est ça quoi. Et
Enchanté.
c'est ça quoi. Caressez-vous. Comme ça, nickel. Ouais, comme votre nom, caressez-vous, c'est votre nom. Ouais,
Caressez-vous.
Caressez-vous.
Kala so Awa Badji.
Awa Badji.
Elle c'est
Awa
Awa
Badji.
Badji. Voilà, Awa Badji.
Yo.
Donc, elle aussi, c'est ma tante. Parce que quand j'étais tout petit, c'est eux qui m'ont élevé ici quoi. Moi j'étais dans cette maison avant d'aller là-bas, à ma grande famille. C'est eux qui m'ont éduqué jusqu'à quand
Tu as beaucoup de souvenirs ici.
Oui, tous mes souvenirs c'est ici au fait.
Ici.
Tous mes souvenirs c'est ici. Moi c'est là que j'ai grandi, c'est ici que je connais. Voilà. Après quand j'étais grand là, quand je criais à la famille là que je partais voir mon papa, après ils m'ont ramené à la maison pour que je puisse aller voir mon père quoi. Parce que je ne connaissais pas mon père au fait aussi. Mais après je me suis battu en lui disant j'allais pas faire mes cours, j'allais pas aller à l'école tant que vous ne m'aurez pas montré mon père. Après ils m'ont amené. Donc du coup, moi je suis reconnaissant dans quelque sorte parce qu'à chaque fois quand je viens ici, à Ziguinchor, je passe ici les dire bonjour, les saluer quoi. Voilà, c'est ça quoi. Parce que moi
C'est important.
Voilà, c'est ça. À chaque fois.
Ah, sa xarit la.
Ouais, sama xarit la, c'est mon ami quoi.
Depuis Dakar ngeen jóge.
So now we're in front of the Saudi Arabia-Poland game with Hassan and a bunch of his family. They all live, there's about like 6 houses in this compound, and they're all gathered here in front of the one TV, and just all of them and their cousins and everything. So it's really interesting. They say everybody's welcome here. They all come together, they live communally, and it's just part of the life that they really appreciate. So I almost pretty much forgot to actually introduce Hassan to you all, but I met him on the ferry last night and he's been great. He talks to everybody, really outgoing. So we spent a lot of the time, the evening and then this morning together on the ferry. So I didn't really have like a place set in stone to stay here in Ziguinchor, so he said that he would take me in and show me around. And so that's what we're doing right now. So he was telling me previously when we were on the boat that pay is tough, and with any amount of salary that you get, it ends up being tough because it's not just that one salary supports one person as we're used to in the US, or that one salary supports one nuclear family, but that one salary might have to support your large nuclear family plus a bunch of extended family as well. And I'm completely getting a sense of what he means when I come here, and it's like everybody is another uncle or another aunt, and everyone's a cousin, everyone's a sibling, and you just lose track of who's exactly in the family and who might be depending on you.
Donc ça c'est du citron.
Ça c'est bon pour les inflammations.
Ah oui.
Certaines maladies, c'est très important. Les gens viennent ici le demander pour se soigner quoi.
Ok.
Another theme that I'm finding here is just pride. People are so proud of not only being Senegalese, but especially of being from Casamance and everything that Casamance represents in terms of hospitality, joy of life, taking things slow, appreciating those around you, the nature around you, and just overall respect is something I'm really finding here. And it's not even just being proud of the region that you're from, but also the neighborhood. We're at this neighborhood basketball stadium where there are children of all ages, boys and girls here playing basketball games together. They're on some sort of rotation where different ages join the basketball court at different times, and it's just really great to see that sort of community is here, especially on a weekend when children would otherwise be in front of video games or watching Netflix or something of the like, but that so many people of all ages, demographics are here playing basketball and being active together, and that there's that community spirit where I talked to the coach a little bit, and he used to previously play with Hassan, that he's here, guiding all these children, mentoring them, just like he was probably mentored before. After having a plate of chibujen today, which is really, really good, the rice was actually better than the one that I had in Dakar. It's more strongly spiced with tamarind. We're continuing to walk down Hassan's memory lane here in Ziguinchor. J'ai oublié J'ai oublié même le nom de la ville. Ziguinchor. Ça c'est le problème quand je voyage beaucoup. Chaque jour une autre ville. J'oublie où je suis. Every time I try to start a new introduction here, we always run into somebody that Hassan knows or recognizes, and then that goes into a whole round of greetings and shaking hands and all the like, which I'm not complaining. It's a great feeling to feel so welcomed with such hospitality here in Casamance area of Senegal.
Invité plein de monde, ça va être un événement comme ça. Woohoo!
We're just walking around Ziguinchor. It's about sunset time, and we came across a celebration, a lot of music, dancing, a crowd gathered around. So that's how you celebrate a baptism. So il y a des chrétiens.
Oui, il y a des chrétiens. Oui, il y a des chrétiens.
So there's a mixture of religions here, Muslims, Christians. So that was a Christian baptism right there. It was just a lot of fun. Hassan and I were just discussing that it's incredible that a country like Senegal has such ethnic, religious diversities in traditions and beliefs and practices, in rural versus cultural divides, and yet it's able to maintain one Senegalese identity which trumps all. You don't have the clashes between different sects or religions here that you have in many countries, in which artificial lines were drawn to create national borders. It all just seems to work really well with a unified Senegalese identity here, especially in Casamance. I'm back in my apartment in Ziguinchor, and it's been such a long day because I've been traveling overnight from Dakar on the boat, finally have a place to stay. And there's one thing that people don't really talk about, is that when you're traveling, it can be physically taxing, but it's also just mentally taxing. There's always that decision fatigue of where do I stay, where do I go next, do I go tomorrow, do I go the day after? You always need to be thinking in the moment as who is walking up against me when I'm walking down the street, as well as more medium term, like what am I going to eat for dinner tonight, and then long term, where am I going to be tomorrow, where am I going to be next week, where am I going to be a month from now. So this all compounds on each other. And then plus, another thing that we don't talk about is just how exhausting and taxing it is mentally to be operating in a language that is not your own. But for now, I'm really hoping you enjoyed seeing not my journey, but at least how Hassan makes his homecoming. And for me, it's really a close-up look at the Senegalese concept of Teranga, which is highly marketed and just means really warm hospitality. So with that, I'm gonna jump into bed. Have a good night, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.